What's up, everybody? No Scott today. It's just me, AJ Pierzynski and Erik Kratz on foul territory today. No Scott. Scott had to fix his hair. I was going to go no hat since I got a nice haircut yesterday, but it's a little bit messy. And plus, you broke your computer somehow. What'd you do? You spilled it? You dropped it in your pool? What happened over there?
I'd need a pool. I was accused of dropping coffee on it. I would need to start drinking coffee. None of that happened. I think it's just a great day to be alive. So we're grinding through this one today.
Yes, we are. No Scott to complain about it either. So, by the way, if you missed yesterday's show, we had Jeff Passan on. He gave his top 10 trade deadline candidates. He also gave the White Sox some love, which you know that I loved. And he said the Phillies are going to make big moves, Kratz. So you love Jeff Passan. So wherever you get your pods, tune in and listen to Jeff Passan talk about everything trade deadline.
He knows what he's talking about.
Sometimes. Every once in a while, he gets a little off the rails. We all do, though. Speaking of, so today I had to go to the eye doctor, right? And I don't know if do you wear glasses or contacts, or you just have perfect vision?
No, I wear contacts.
Okay, so I've worn contacts since I was like 10 years old, and they've always been fine. And people are like, get LASIK, and I just pop them in, and whatever it takes me. It's 30 seconds out of my day, and I'll do it on the airplane, and people look at me like I'm crazy when I take my contacts out and put on my glasses, or I put my contacts in once we land. People are like, oh, what are you, this crazy person doing, right? Well, today I found out I have astigmatism, which I don't even know what that means. So now my left eye, this one, if you can see it, this one, apparently has astigmatism. So I got a new contact, and it's kind of wonky. I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit wonky. I'm not used to it. So if I'm a little bit fuzzy to people out there, just remember, that's why.
Why would you be fuzzy to people? It's your vision. People would be fuzzy to you.
True. Sorry, I get confused sometimes. But I'm just saying, it's little left eyes. I'm like Lisa Left Eye Lopez. I only have the left eye now, so I don't know what happened.
Or it's just sleepy the whole time.
Yeah, but I don't even know I didn't know what astigmatism even mean, and the eye doctor said it's like a football. I don't know, and they have two different prescriptions. I don't know. He said I had it, but it wasn't bad enough. Now it's bad enough. Anyways.
Do you know how to spell it?
Astigmatism.
No, IT. That's how you spell it.
Perfect. That was a good one. All right. Let's talk. We're going to charge the mound here for a second as soon as we run this little front end.
Charging the mound.
Erik, have you seen the new home run derby rules, by the way? The home run derby rules, people were getting too tired. There was too many Gatorade breaks, guys bringing flags and towels out to everybody. But now they have these new rules. I'm for it, but I'm kind of against it. I wish we could just go back to the old 10 outs thing, but 20 swings in the first round, 15 swings in the second and third. And if you hit one in the money ball with the pink ball that they use, you get extra swings. So it's going to lower the amount of swings, but I don't know. The clock was a cool thing, but I also like just the 10 outs, but then you have Josh Hamilton who hits like 70 homers and then can't hit it in the second half.
And I remember the Sammy Sosa era. Now, obviously, that was enhanced. It was plus tax, but it was take a pitch, swing at a pitch. Take a pitch, swing at a pitch. And you were like, oh my gosh, this is going to last forever. But then being at the home run derby when it was the clock, they had the clock on, was 3 minutes, 40 swings. You're like, bing, and you're watching it, and then bing, and you never get to enjoy it. So I think we're going to be able to enjoy the distance of the home runs, but I feel like it might take a lot longer than people think because people are just going to, make sure we're locked in. Okay, time one up. It's going to look like one of your son's showcase outings.
That was going to be my thing because they did the clock to make it faster.
Yep.
Because I remember I was there for Sammy Sosa 2002 in Milwaukee, and it took so long. I left in the middle of it because it was like 4 hours, and there's only so many times I can see Sammy Sosa hit a ball into Potawatomi out there in left center, the casino they have like 4 miles down the road. So I left, but it took forever, and now they're going to cut the numbers of swings down, which I'm all for. Maybe they should have just cut the clock down because, like you said, it's going to be, that's not the perfect pitch. That's the perfect pitch. Before, it was really important to have the best BP thrower that could just throw strikes, but now it's really important to have a guy that can just throw the perfect one maybe every fourth pitch.
So you can battle? Hey, don't worry about throwing all strikes. Here, I'll just battle you. I don't know. I like that they shortened it. We have a shorter attention span, and being there, you don't get to enjoy every home run. The people I want in a home run derby are not the people that dink them over the fence. I want to see somebody hit one into Ashburn Alley. I want to see somebody hit one into Harry the K. Well, it used to be called Harry the K's up in left field. I want to see somebody hit one where Barry Bonds hit it in right field or right center field. Those are the people I want in the game. I get it. I don't necessarily. I'm not afraid of short home runs. I get that, but I want to see the dudes that just hit massive dingers, and I want to be able to watch them go the whole way.
Yeah, true. But that's why the size guys had an advantage for so long. And by the way, I'm not saying this is true or not, but the balls are juiced. I mean, maybe. For the home run derby, just a little. I used to always joke. We used to always joke. You know the softball guys? They used to bring the softball guys, and they'd hit a ball into the upper. I remember we were playing in the Metrodome. They brought these softball guys in. And the left field of the Metrodome was 700 feet. And these dudes were just mashing balls into the upper deck in left field. And then they let me see a ball, and you dropped it on the ground, and it was like, boing, off the roof. And I'm like, man, those are the same as that's what I tell people. Those are the home run derby balls. You drop a regular ball and you drop a home run derby ball. One bounces back in your hand. The other one bounces 17 feet over your head. So I don't know. I'm for it. I like seeing long home runs. Maybe it'll get some bigger names because they won't be as tired. But one thing I do like, Kratz, is I do like the head-to-head. I always like the head-to-head, right? It's head-to-head. You go mano-y-mano, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and boom. And then you figure it out right then. And then then the next round, you go head versus head again, head-to-head, and that's the winner take all. There's no like, oh, well, this guy hit the second most. This guy, boom. Let's go head-to-head, mano-y-mano, see who hits some more homers.
Thing I don't like about it, though, if somebody has a stinker and then they played somebody that has a stinker, they only need to hit 6 home runs, 8 home runs. And then you're like, you feel like you kind of got shorted on that round. So that's my only issue with the head-to-head, but I don't have an answer to it. I don't, coin flip or whoever hits the most in the first round gets to go second because then you get to see what the other person hits. I don't know. I feel like there has to be something else, but there's always something. And I'm glad they're not afraid to tweak it. I just hope it's for the fans, like everything else Major League Baseball does, is for the fans, right?
Well, of course, it should be for the television and the fans because nobody wants to sit in Philadelphia for 4 hours and watch dudes hit homers. I'm sorry. I love the home run derby. I love the event, but it gets old no matter who you are. Unless you're the kid out there chasing home run balls, Kratz, you just get one of your kids out there and just tell them to wear a helmet because there's been some noggin knockers.
Yeah, I gotta maybe since we won the state championship, maybe they'll let all the state championship kids get out there in the outfield and catch some fly balls. Although some of the guys on my team, I'm gonna be straight up honest, I don't need them in left field either. It's dangerous out there. I've seen them try to track fly balls that we're hitting, and we got to just keep those guys in the stands watching the games.
The one rule that hasn't changed, remember, I think it was Brent Rooker got screwed by the distance thing. They kept the distance. Now, who's judging the distance, right? Is it StatCast? Is there a guy sitting there? It's not it was on Netflix this year. It's not on ESPN. I know ESPN lost it, so I think it's on Netflix this year. Are they going to have like Anthony Rizzo or CC out there measuring with the tape measure? That'd be awesome. CC running around the field with the tape measure, seeing up in the stands, running from home run to home run with the tape measure to see how far it went. That'd be awesome.
They're going to trust StatCast. They're going to trust Google AI. That's who they're going to trust.
Do we need to bring back Chris Berman?
No. I mean, well, that's the thing. I think Chris Berman was gone when you can't have when you had the timer because he's like, it's back. It's back. Like he never ended. He was never able to stop. But no, you know what? You know what we need to bring back? We need to bring back one returning champion, and we need to bring back one minor league champion. That's what we need for the home run derby. People will be like, because they do it in the slam dunk contest. Now that's a picture of Schwarber hitting in the home run derby, or was it him winning the All-Star game, which was ended in a home run derby?
Which, by the way, maybe instead of doing the feed off, they should have a swing off. But I know it's more swings. People would complain. That'd be way too much. 3 more swings would be way too much for these professional athletes to take 100 swings a day. But also, by the way, it's funny. Claudia said it had a great point. If you said past champions, does that mean like Todd Frazier could come back?
Yes.
And by the way, minor leaguer, you're out. Sorry. I hate to say that, but you're out. If you're not in the big leagues, you can't be in the big league home run derby.
I disagree. You want to see the best home run hitters ever. So you know what? It's in Philly this year. Ryan Howard, big piece. He won a home run derby. Bring him back.
He ain't coming
Michael
back.
Jackson.
He ain't coming back.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying Put it out there. It's a fan event. Put it out there. Home run derby champion from the minor leagues, not whoever's hitting the most home runs. Home run derby champion in the minor leagues. And, you know, I'm always gonna vie for my home run for my AAA guys. But McClung's doing it. McClung does it. He comes and he wins the dunk contest. You want to see the best in an exhibition contest. That's how you have to do it. You gotta go out and you gotta get the best to show who actually hits the ball the farthest and the most homers.
I love Ryan Howard. When I went to London a couple years ago, they had a cage, and it was the Phillies and the Mets, and they wanted us to hit in the cage, and Ryan was like, absolutely not. And I sat there, and I'm like, I'll do it if you do it. And he's like, oh, I'll do it. And we're like, I'll do it if you do it. I'll do it if you do it. So, of course, we both ended up getting in the cage in London in the middle of the square in a batting cage, and they had a dude throwing, and they had all the track, man. We both weren't very good. I'm sure Ryan hit it farther than I did, but neither one. Yeah, I think it was me and Chase. Jimmy, I think, was there. I forget who was there for the Mets, but maybe the lefty Daniel Murphy was there. I forget it, but it was awesome. I mean, there was like 10,000 people watching us take BP in this cage, oohing and awing, and they had no idea what we were doing. We were taking swings, and they were like, ooh, ooh. And we're like, oh, that was a roll.
Wait, you didn't hit it? You didn't hit it like out of – I remember the video, but you didn't hit it like out into anything? You were hitting in a batting cage?
We were in a batting cage, yes. I had like a hoodie on. I was completely unprepared to do this thing. But it was awesome.
You were at the zoo. You were a zoo animal.
Yes, I had a pink shirt on, so I was the pink striped zebra. I know Wainwright did it too. He took swings. He probably beat us all.
Yeah, he's so perfect.
Yeah, so anyways, I don't know. I like the changes. I love what you said about they're always trying to make it better. Minor league guy, sorry, you're out. Past champion, I'd love to see someone do it if they would want to do it. I don't know if they would want to do it. Bring back Sammy Sosa, let him do it. Mark McGwire, have him do it. I don't know, one of those guys. Frank Thomas, have him do it.
Robinson Cano on the sizzle. We could have him do it. That'd be great.
I was wondering, are we drug testing or not? Because that would change some guys' opinion if they're going to come back and do it. Although the White Sox are doing a home run derby July 11th, and they have their list of players includes Jose Canseco, who may or may not have been chemically enhanced, Gordon Beckham, Daniel Palka.
What?
And
that dude hit dingers.
Last but not least, a guy who was confirmed steroid user, Alexei Ramirez, who just got popped in the World Baseball Classic. He just got
this
popped.
Year.
Yes.
Daniel Palka hit some he would waffle the baseball. I mean, mostly in AAA, but he had a little run in the show. He better get on the sauce right now because Alexei's still on the sauce. He literally got popped this year. So, Lexi!
He got popped for like 4 different things, dude. Wasn't like one thing. He had like a long list of stuff. So I don't know.
It wasn't just
be
steak.
Interesting. No, it wasn't just doctored steak like people have claimed in the past. But yes,
correct.
In Mexico or whatever it was. All right, we're gonna head to a break real quick. We're gonna talk Nats when we get back here. Spencer Nusbaum's gonna join us next.
Support for today's episode comes from Square, and they've got big news. During Square's biannual releases event, they launched a wave of innovative new tools to help local businesses run faster, smarter, and more profitably. Square is awesome around Orlando, where AJ and I live. We go to the farmers markets around town. I go to the one near Lake Eola. It's awesome. I use Square to pay with my phone. I get the receipt right away. It's great.
And so many businesses, not just small businesses, use this. So many restaurants and businesses I walk into, not only in Orlando, but all over the country, have these, and you just use your credit card, pops out a receipt, emails it right to you. It's so fast, it's so efficient, it's so hassle-free. It's one of the great things that you have going.
Square launched its most powerful tools yet, designed to give local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. If you're ready to sell smarter, run faster, and stress less right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/foul. That's square.com/go/FOUL. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
Mark Bowman here, Rowdy Tellez, one of our friends of the show. Do we call him a friend there, Kratzy?
Yes.
Remained at first base.
Frenemy.
Frenemy, yes. Remained at first base tonight after batting for Kim, who was a shortstop. This made Matt Olson go to right field for the ninth inning. First time Olson has played the outfield since 2017. By the way, Rowdy just comes in and disrupts everything. I mean, it's what he does when he comes on the show. Now he's gone to the Braves and said, Matt Olson, I know you've played like 1,000 straight games, but now you're going to have to go to right field for him.
850 straight games, but he's still at his game streak. That wasn't the issue. The issue was they couldn't let Rowdy go out to the outfield because the last time he was in the outfield, he filleted his finger when he went to rob a home run. Now, obviously in Atlanta, it's a little different. You're not getting up that high. I want to see Rowdy play short. When he came in for Kim, I'm like, let the big fella pick it at short one time.
No. I saw Jermaine Dye play short once. It wasn't. He'll say he was a Gold Glover. It wasn't very good. He got one inning. We lost, so it was Jermaine's fault. But
in a game,
in Oakland. So when you do the immaculate grid thing that was so popular a couple years ago, if it ever says like played shortstop one game, you can use Jermaine Dye. He played one inning at shortstop in Oakland, and we lost the game. This is a true story. We lost the game on Aaron Rowan lost a fly ball because Joe Creedy got kicked out. And we had everyone hurt. So Aaron Rowan was playing center, lost a fly ball in the sun, double. The next guy, we had Chris Widger, our backup catcher, playing third. And we had a coach that was a minor league coach that had never been around the big leagues. Move Widger off the line. Next guy hits a chopper down third baseline. We lose. We're like, who moved him? Hey, Spencer Nusbaum here from The Athletic, the Nationals writer. By the way, I'm not going to lie, Spencer, I did not think we'd be talking Nationals and playoffs this year, but here you are. So let's talk Nationals and playoffs. Is this a playoff team?
It's a great question. And we had, I think, the same uncertainty heading into the season, right? I'm supposed to know the team in and out, and I didn't think we'd be talking about playoffs in April and May, definitely not in June. And yet here we are, right? I think... So I took a look at kind of the historical comparisons, and I think it's still pretty unlikely. And you even look at this roster and you look at the way that they've played, and it feels unlikely because they've given up so many runs and things of that nature. But this offense has not regressed, and it feels like any good stretch or good trend they're on, they do not give it up. And so, yeah, maybe it's time to start at least floating the idea a little bit, even if it still feels kind of unlikely.
All right, I'll let AJ hit the negative stuff. I'm going to go with the offense. Is the offense sustainable? I know you just said it hasn't regressed at all, but you're seeing career years out of certain guys, and they score runs in bunches. Is this sustainable? Because if it is, then you're talking about scoring runs for 4 to 5 years coming up here in Washington.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's sustainable, which is not something even like a month ago I would have been prepared to say. I think, and this is one of the things I've been thinking about most as I'm like even writing my stories, right? Is you want to write a Keibert Ruiz story, but you're not sure how long the success is going to maintain itself. Or you want to write a Curtis Mead story, but you're not sure they're going to be able to keep it up. Even James Wood and CJ Abrams, like unbelievable players who had pretty bad second halves last year. They've just been able to maintain it for so long, and it just comes down to they're getting coached the right way. They have 3 hitting coaches, each of whom is kind of tailored towards specific players. And these are real talents that, the team wasn't getting the most out of before. So, maybe we think of Keibert Ruiz or Jacob Young as a career like 590 OPS guy, when in reality, we should have been looking at them the whole time as, hey, Jacob's an athletic player who has pop in his bat. Keibert is able to pull the ball in the air. Like these guys have talent. I think it's just more so a case of maybe let's start waiting 2026 more than we've been waiting the past seasons, just because they feel like completely different players this year.
Spencer, something you mentioned, they have 3 hitting coaches. So one talks to James Wood, one talks to CJ Abrams, and one talks to Keibert Ruiz. What happens if they crisscross? Is it like Ghostbusters? They can't cross streams? They can't cross paths? They can't talk to each other? How does that work? Because that seems like, I don't know. I've been on teams. I played on a team once where we were told only certain players were allowed to talk to this guy and everyone else had to talk to this guy. So how does that work with 3 of them?
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think it's fair, or maybe in the past it was fair to be skeptical of that, right? Like, because you do worry, hey, are they all going to be giving the same message the same right away? The fact of the matter is players, as you well know, respond to different types of coaching, right? So like, there's a guy in that room who wants to be coached by a former big leaguer. Like that's who they're going to listen to. There's another guy in that room who's had a lot of success in an off season and they want a driveline guy. And then there's someone who just wants like your regular pro hitting coach. They're all delivering the same message. They're just going about it in a different way. And so where you might have a guy maybe not believe or not want to listen as much to someone from a certain background, the fact of the matter is they're giving the same message every time. And I think that's a big reason why it works. And all three of those hitting coaches just have so much feel in the room is a big thing I've heard this year. And so they're preparing the right way, but they're also able to deliver it in a way that just makes sense for every individual player. And I think that's why it's been so successful.
Has this changed throughout the year, or was this something that they did like personality tests where they're like, hey, this guy speaks to the more visual aspect of it, or this guy speaks, like you said, former big leaguer or a driveline guy? Did they prepare these before the season and gone with it? Or was it like Keibert Ruiz struggled early, heard it from a different hitting coach, now that's his new hitting coach?
Yeah, it's a good question. In terms of their hiring process specifically, they hired three coaches with the idea that they're going to talk to their individual guys, right? Like they went on these calls with all of their players this offseason and said, basically gauged who they like to listen to and who they not necessarily respect, but whose opinion matters the most to them or what type of coaching they appreciate. Again, talking to these guys in particular is why they set it up that way. But then you look at maybe why it's sustained, and it's not just, hey, it's the right personality giving it. But they have these, big meetings every 6 weeks that go over, hey, here's specifically what we want out of you, and here's how we're going to change your process. They obviously have the daily meetings like every team has in terms of getting the most out of guys. And at the end of the day, like I know some teams like to have one-on-one hitters meetings every day. That's not what the Nationals do, right? Like they have everyone in the same room. They often let the players, especially recently, guide those so that it's coming from a player as opposed to just from a coach. They've progressed this all in a really nice way that makes me. You don't ever want to say that a team has solved hitting or has solved hitting development. Like I think it's too early to maybe say that. But it just feels like every single time you've wondered, hey, is this player going to figure it out? They figure it out 3 days later and just maintain it for the rest of the season. So, yeah, it's unbelievable to see what they've done, and I think it's a really smart process.
All right, well, they also have really good players that were very highly regarded and traded for and brought in. So that good players help. Maybe a different message helps also. But before we go to the pitching, which, as Kratz said, I'm going to go to the negative side of this team. Is this a Taboni thing? Is this a Butera thing? Who deserves the credit for these hitters doing what they're doing? Is it a combo of both of them?
Well, I think the first part of your question in terms of like, it's the hitters more than anything else, obviously, right? It's the ones who are actually swinging the bat. No, I don't think it's one that's credited more than the other, right? Like, I guess you could say Taboni brought in Curtis Mead, but Blake had a former relationship with him, right? Or like, Blake helped hire the coaches, but Taboni was in on the process as well. Like they're working hand in hand on everything in a way that I think you don't see in every single organization. There aren't necessarily the same walls up there that you might see like in an organization where stuff leaks out, right? Like, oh, the hitting coaches did this, or oh, the front office people did this. Like they're all in the same conversations and in the same room. So I don't know that it's fair to ascribe more credit to one or the other. I think they've both done a really good job here.
Okay, because Davey Martinez did win a World Series there. So, I mean, it wasn't like he was a terrible manager and just forgot how to manage. So that maybe a different voice, whatever. So let's not forget that he did win the one World Series that was there. So, Spencer, let's go to the other side now, the pitching. One of the great things that we always talk about and is that they give up a lot of runs and they also score a lot of runs. Is that sustainable? Because most teams that don't have pitching, they run out of gas offensively at some point. They run into a losing streak because they can't hit enough, run into hot pitchers, whatever it is this team sustainable with the pitching they have, their starters and relievers?
Yeah, I think if they're on this trajectory, like you can't make the playoffs like this, if that's kind of the overarching question here, right? And again, some of this stuff is trending in the right way where like Miles Michaelis had a really bad start to the season and has figured it out. Defensively, they were leading baseball in errors by like a dozen, and they've since mostly figured it out as well. But I just think when you look at, hey, if we're talking about postseason teams, like who do you think of? It's the teams that have three set starters and they have a shutdown closer and they have four other guys they can turn to. The Nationals just go through these stretches, and yeah, they can absolutely win like 4 games in a row, like they did the other day. But you're not going to win all those 10-2, right? Like there's going to be some 11-10 games in there, and that's really hard to sustain over the course of the season, especially when you're putting so much pressure as they do on their starting pitching and on their relief pitching, right? Like their starters go 4 innings and they're asked to maximize that. Great. Like you still have 5 innings to clean up at the end. And it's a bunch of guys who either have bounced around a lot or are new to the big leagues. And that's not to say that they're bad pitchers or anything like that, but they're not proven in these spots that they're being asked to pitch in. So it's really hard to see that like sort of pitching chaos sustain itself over the course of 162. Now, maybe in a playoff series, sure, but where they're at right now, it's hard to see how that plays out in like August and September, if you kind of understand what I'm saying there.
Spencer, quick yes or no question. Do you think the Nats front office, the new front office, thought they would be here where they are today?
No. And
Okay.
I can't, you said quick yes or no, so maybe I won't expand on that. Gun to my head, no. But I think that maybe more belief than I might have had at the start of the year, for sure.
Okay. But the reason I asked that was because we're still talking about the starting pitching. There's a guy down in Texas that has a 4.2 ERA, Mackenzie Gore, who was also part of all that trade, that they just said, yeah, you know what, we'll get rid of him. Because if the Nats front office believed they would be where they're at, not like, ooh, well, I hope this stuff works, then they would have kept a starting pitcher like that and not had to deal with homer-prone Miles Michaelis or Zach Littell, or added to those with the Forrest Griffin addition. Like I feel like you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth if you're the Nats, or you would have kept a Mackenzie Gore who could have been the headliner for this rotation.
Well, it all depends on what your goal is, right? Like if your goal is to make the playoffs this season, sure, you keep McKenzie. If your goal is to win a World Series, and that's not to say that this team is going to win a World Series this year, but if your goal is to sustainably be in contention for that, like I don't think that you can keep McKenzie on the roster, right? Like the guys they got back, and obviously they're prospects. We don't know how they're going to turn out or anything. Like you got 2 top 100 prospects out of that. You got a crazy arm who has been hurt, but like maybe like, and again, I get it. I get that, you can never throw your chance away. I just don't think this team is winning a World Series, even if they keep Mackenzie Gore. And so if your goal is to make the playoffs, sure, I understand holding on to Mackenzie and figuring it out from there. And, maybe they're 6 games over 500 instead of 3 right now. Like that stuff matters. But I don't know that they were ever going to go into this season, even if they knew that it was going to play out this way, still not wanting to trade McKenzie.
But isn't that what most front offices say? They say, hey, the goal is just make the playoffs. Winning is a crapshoot. So now, it would be technically the other way.
Sure. And again, maybe I have the wrong gauge on this. I have the sense that this operation thinks so long term, and they think about this in terms of sustainable success, that they know, hey, you're not re-signing McKenzie, so what? You get two seasons out of him, or we can get these 5 prospects back. We believe in all 5, at least 2 or 3 we believe in to be not just real contributors, but like borderline stars on this team, right? And McKenzie had a 4 ERA when he was in Washington. So, it's a mix of all these things coming together, but I think ultimately the goal is to win World Series, and the goal is to do that or at least be in contention for a sustainable amount of time. That's really hard to do with the farm system that they had before, and they have a good one now.
Spencer, by the way, Mackenzie Gore, he's not pitching that well this year in Texas, so that's maybe they knew something. Also, this organization has done this before. Remember when they shut down Steven Strasburg for the postseason, and then they won a World Series a couple years later. So maybe they know what they're doing. It's a different front office, but hey, who are we to judge when they want to shut people down or what they want to move? But I hope they make some sort of moves in order to help this team, because it'd be a cool story if the Nats did make the postseason. I want to go to something you just recently released about your 9 fans, 9 innings. Did you pick these people out of the crowd? Did you pre-select these people like certain people have been known to do on game shows, or were these just 9 random people that you found? One happened to be held by Bryce Harper, and one happened to be a huge James Wood fan, and one happened to be an unemployed person? Or did you pre-plan this, Spencer? That's what I want to know.
Well, I pre-planned the Bryce Harper part of it, and
Okay.
always held back. But that's too much of a layup. But no, I sent out a little poll and said, hey, if you're interested in talking, let me know where you're sitting. But didn't read into the backgrounds or anything like that. Now that one I knew ahead of time, and I talked to the kid last year because he was doing sell the team chance at the same time last season, and so I was like, yeah, I want to see what his updated thoughts are. But no, it's just a collection of Nats fans who a mix of them are ready to believe or not ready to believe, again, because of ownership, because of what they've been through before. But they are far more optimistic, like you said, like I said, than they thought they'd be at this time last year, or even at the start of the season. So yeah, it's important to kind of take the pulse of the fan base and the pulse of the clubhouse and say, hey, do we want to win this year? And I think that's part of why I wrote the story.
Okay, that's the pulse of the fans in that sense, but what is the true atmosphere at the Natitude, Park of Natitude, or whatever it's called these days? That, do they have, is it kind of a hokey, well, you know what, it's getting warm, we're coming out to games, or is it like there's something to truly watch here and get behind?
It's trending in the direction of the second one, but it's still more the first. Like attendance always kind of lags by a season. You saw with the Mets like a couple of years ago, like they were red hot and the stands were still pretty empty. No, again, I think if they're in it in September, all of a sudden we start to have a different conversation. But no, I think people are cautiously optimistic. But right now, like if you want me to be honest, it's summertime. Ballpark's a good place to be, and the winning is a nice follow through. But if they're doing this in September still, then yeah, I think that place is going to be pretty full.
And by the way, now that they built it up, because I remember going there a few years ago, and there was like nothing around that ballpark. But now there's restaurants and bars, and it's a full district territory now. It's making some cash out there, and they don't. Do they still have the giant picture of Max Scherzer in left field on the parking garage, or did they finally take that down?
No, they finally took that down, but they replaced it with the best offense in baseball. So whatever gets fans out there.
No,
That's fair.
Then the other thing before we let you go, Spencer, is the press box as high as the TV booth? So when you actually are looking down, do you have to have binoculars to see what is actually happening in the game?
Yeah, well, we were in San Francisco the other day, and I was like, I didn't know they made press boxes that low, right? Like, no, it's way up there in heaven. Writers are fortunate where we're a level down from the broadcast, so we don't need binoculars, or at least a lot of people don't. But I think I might need to make the investment soon. The eyesight's starting to lose it a little bit.
Wait till you get told you have astigmatism, man. You just wait, Spencer. Happened to me today. It's crazy. I'm like, wow, what's that mean? I can't see now. I don't know. So anyway, Spencer, well, thank you. We appreciate it. Tell Franny to get some binoculars. Check out Spencer along with Kevin Franson and the Bat Boys, Eric Shellhouse on District Territory on YouTube, wherever you get your pods, and it's part of the Foul Territory Network. Spencer, thank you, and go Nats.
Thank you, guys.
With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. And Kratz, there are many, many baseball games on the inventory to check out all summer long. This is the season now. It is baseball season. Not many other options for you sports-wise. I know you can go anywhere you want to go with SeatGeek. There's so many tickets to choose from, but baseball is center stage now for the next couple months.
School's out. I'm going to watch some baseball games, some big league games, all in my area. And I want to know exactly what it looks like. And I also want the best deal. So I'm looking for the green, not the red.
That's right. The green hooks you up with the best deals on the app. Of course, we have the code. It's Territory10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any MLB tickets with the promo code Territory10. Make sure you click the link in the description of this episode. That'll download the app if you don't have it already, and you'll have the code automatically added to your account so that you can use that code later. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Brian Hoke tweeted this, EK, ball game over. Yankees win 10-5 is your final over. We're not going to mention the team who they beat last night. The Yankees have a 3.5 game lead in the AL East, their largest since April 7th. The Rays had a lead. The Yankees have held the course. What do you think the Yankees have here? Do you think they are the team to beat still in the AL East, even though the Rays have gotten to play the Dodgers the last few games?
Yeah, I think they're a better team than the Rays. I think they're going to go through streaks. I think the Rays' streaks are going to be less and less. you're not going to have these massive swings that the Yankees get on that hot streak or the cold streak where they face teams that are like, well, we're just going to execute our pitches and not let you hit homers. I think they're the best team in the American League. I think they're a few paces ahead of everybody, but they're also playing a really bad White Sox team right now who's probably going to be in the cellar soon.
Mm-hmm. That's why we didn't mention them, but they're in first place. They're beating a first place team, Kratz, so don't ever forget that. They're beating a first place. Colson Montgomery did hit 2 homers. That was the one bright spot. Here's the thing about the Yankees for me. You can say whatever you want about their lineup. Ben Rice, Cody Bellinger has been great. Caballero's been a pest, right? Their pitching is so good. Their pitching is so good. Cole, Rodon, when Fried comes back, we haven't even talked about Schlittler, who's going to might be the All-Star game starter for the AL and has a shot at the Cy Young. I mean, their pitching is just so good. And then their bullpen has been good. It is a good team. The Yankees are a good team.
The Yankees are a good team. I think the most complete team in the American League. Yes, the lineup without Judge is less, but anytime you take a 3-time MVP out of a lineup, it's going to be a lesser of a lineup. That's just the reality.
Welcome back. Hot Corner is presented by Perfect Inning. What is a perfect inning, by the way? Do we consider an immaculate inning a perfect inning, or is it just 3 up, 3 down is a perfect inning?
No, immaculate inning would be a perfect inning. It's good.
What happens
but
if
it's a good name.
What happens if you get 3 outs on like 4 or 5 pitches, though? Wouldn't that be a perfect inning?
Perfect for the pitcher, but not in this context.
Okay.
It's powered by Perfect Inning, which is a great name for a game. And
True.
You hit the
It's a great
QR
game.
code and you watch it, and you'll figure out what the perfect inning is. Not a perfect game, a perfect inning.
I know. I just always wondered that. They're like, oh, he has a perfect inning, but then I don't know. If you go like 4 pitches and get 3 outs, 5 pitches, then you involve other people, right? Your pitcher, you're being selfish if you go immaculate inning because nobody else gets involved in that inning. I don't know.
I like that. I don't
know.
Deep thinking.
I don't know. Just thoughts that I think about because I have no life. So thank you. Let's get to some trade rumors. The Giants were talking about maybe trading Rafi Devers, Matt Chapman, and Willie Adames. Apparently, Matt Chapman is the most appealing. That would make sense, right? He better defender, having a better year right now. Matt Chapman would be out of those 3. He would seem like the most appealing.
I mean, I think his contract's a little bit more palatable too. But if you're talking about a team that needs somebody that's a full-service player, yes, because you look at Adames and you're like, okay, well, he strikes out a lot. His defense, people think his defense is on decline, and he's got a long contract. I don't know how much the Giants would end up eating in these contracts, but that is a long contract for somebody who they feel like is going to be moved off a shortstop and is being paid like a shortstop. But my thing, yes, I get it. Chapman, his defense would be there. His offense is coming around. My thing would be Devers isn't hot yet. If you have an opportunity, and I said this with the Giants last year, I think Devers is still leading the league in doubles. But if you have an opportunity to add a left-handed bat like Rafi Devers, and not every team needs a left-handed bat, but every team needs a guy who you can pencil in for 30 homers. He hit 30 last year. Half the season in turmoil in Fenway, half the season in a hitter-suppressed park in San Francisco. To me, I get it. There's a lot to be paid there. There's a lot of defensive issues. But if you can add that type of impact bat to lineups that have zero power, Padres, Rays, then you know what? It fits. But there's a lot of money to be had there too.
Yeah, well, those teams ain't taking on that money. That's the problem. Here's what the executive said, by the way, that said that these teams were interested. Between defense and offensive value, Chapman in particular should be most appealing to teams who play in hitters' parks where his power will play better. Based on where some of these free agent deals are going in terms of AAV, $25 million for 425 to 450 slug, and competent defense isn't crazy numbers anymore, at least for big market teams, which I agree, which, by the way, the 2 teams you mentioned are not big market, and the rival executive thought the Philadelphia Phillies would be perfect for Matt Chapman, except there's only one problem, Kratzy. They have Alec Boehm, and they've been talking about trading Alec Boehm for years. He's still there.
The Phillies weren't talking about trading him. Other teams were asking about him. Why were they asking about him? Because he's a good player. The Phillies can't hit. Do they need more defense? Sure. But you know what? Alec Bohm, I think, is hitting, let's see, 220. He's got an OPS plus of 75. That's actually up. That's up from where he was before. So to me, I don't think Alec Bohm's the issue. Now, do they do it to say, okay, well, we don't know who's going to be our third baseman of the future? Is Aiden Miller not going to come back from his back injury? Yeah, all those things. But you would have to be able to add, you would have to be able to suffice another part of your needs getting rid of Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm's just not going to go and play left field or play right field. Like, gone are those, like, that's not happening. Would it be great to have Gold Glove at third base? Yeah, absolutely. But to me, I don't think it's an Alec Bohm or bust type of season for the Phillies. The whole offense has to pick it up, and adding another guy that's 250 with some strikeouts, but Gold Glove defense would be an upgrade, but not that massive of an upgrade that I think the Phillies need.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. A couple other upgrades that people were talking about. Yesterday, we mentioned we had Jeff Passan on. He said Aroldis Chapman, 90% to get traded. Because the Red Sox, let's be honest, they stink, right? He's having another solid year. There's the card by perfect inning 26. I mean, he's still a monster, right? He still can get you saves. But to me, I think any team should be interested in Aroldis Chapman because he doesn't have to save games. He can come in and be the eighth inning guy. He can come in and get lefties out. He can come in and get righties out. He could pitch in the seventh. He could pitch in the eighth, or he could close a game for you. So he, to me, is awesome for any team out there.
Nobody's going to deny Aroldis Chapman, but is his .44 ERA going to be okay pitching in the eighth inning? The reason Aroldis Chapman has stayed healthy, the reason he has had success, is because he's been used in a specific role for the entirety of his career. And so do you know that? Like, you don't get a chance to, hey, we're going to trade for, bless you, we're going to trade for Aroldis Chapman if he will be our eighth inning guy because we already have a closer. Like, or do you bring him in and your closer who's been closing the whole year says, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Think about Baker in Tampa Bay. Would they love to have an Aroldis Chapman? Yes, they've seen him pitch against their team for years. I'm sure they would love to have him, but would Baker be willing to take his career year, possibly his all-star season as a closer, and move to the eighth inning? Because I think Aroldis Chapman's superpower and his availability through always being healthy is in that closer's role.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. One more pitcher I want to talk about is Reid Detmers and the Angels. Will the Angels actually do this? Soriano was mentioned yesterday, and Detmers. Detmers is pitching really well. He's hot right now. He's left-handed. He's got years of control. Will the Angels actually move him or Soriano? We talked with Jeff Passan about this, but there's Reid Detmers. He's really good. He's figured things out.
He has. The fact that he's left-handed, the fact that he just eclipsed 100 strikeouts for the season, I think his value couldn't be higher. And yet Artie Moreno has constantly, around every corner, shot himself in the foot. Do I think Perry Minasian can make this move? Yeah. He came from the Braves. He learned from Alex Anthopoulos. He was with the Alex in Toronto. He was with Alex in Atlanta. So he's seen moving and shaking and making those moves, but will Artie stay out of the way? To me, I don't think they will allow both of those guys to go. So who do teams want more, Jose Soriano or Reid Detmers? Because they could get a haul for him.
They could, but will they do it? We all know that the Angels haven't exactly been known to make deals when they're supposed to make them. So we'll see. They could help if they traded them both. We mentioned it yesterday again, that they could get a haul for both those guys. They could redo their whole farm system, get 4 or 5 guys, 3 or 4 guys for each one of them, and overhaul their farm system. So I think they should. They're not winning, obviously, this year, but we will see exactly what they do. Anyways, when we come back, we'll have Brandon Hyde, ex-manager of the Orioles, experience the unique thrill of real-time PvP baseball and MLB Perfect Inning 26. Perfect integration of the official MLB designated runner rule for extra innings, official Major League Baseball uniforms such as home, away, and City Connect have been added. Download MLB Perfect Inning 26 in your app store today, and thank you, Perfect Inning. Okay, Kratz, here we go. This is the Lincoln Salt Dogs manager, James Frisbee, who went full Lou Piniella, Lloyd McClendon here on some independently guys of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming that's Lincoln, Nebraska, but he's going to blow. Yep. He might blow an artery the way he's as red as his face is. But this is what I miss about baseball. I miss this. We can't have this because everything is replay. Guess what? They don't have replay of the Lincoln Salt Dogs, and this guy, he put them all together.
I mean, he had the whole jaw in. He had an aortic infarction. When I say a jaw, he had a big old hammer in there, and I think he was primed to go out there because I saw the play. The play was very, okay, did the first baseman drag his foot or not? Yeah, okay. Pirouette to save it. I mean, that umpire got some spit in his face. And I mean, I know that back is going to be sore today. I mean, there's just he went after everybody. And in Lincoln right now, it's not cold out there, so he's happy. He's happy, but I feel like he went out there to get it done. And if you see some independent ball games, I love here where you made contact with me. I saw it. So the umpire's making sure.
The two girls behind him. Did you see the two ladies behind him that were, That's great. That was great. Here he is, Brandon Hyde. Oh, he's on his phone. Sorry. You know what he's doing right now, Kratzy? Brandon Hyde.
Screenager.
Besides being a screenager, he's trying to figure out his title because they had an argument in our pre-production show today. What is your exact title with the Rays? Your player personnel development mental coach of bunting? What is your? Can you please
advisor
explain to us?
Well, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. No, the official title is Senior Advisor, Baseball Operations, which is just a title. It's pretty much just being a resource for the Major League Club and the minor league managers, being around the big league club quite a bit, trying to help out as much as I can with cash and the front office there, and then just being a resource for the minor league managers and the minor league staff. So I'm really enjoying doing a little bit of everything. They've included me in everything, and I've really enjoyed being in this organization.
All right, because I just want to know, have you ever seen Office? I think it's Office Space. What exactly do you do around here, right? That's kind of
one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
So what is it exactly you do around here? Is that what they come in? Is that what
you got my
the front office comes in?
Yeah. No, I'm with the club quite a bit. I'm at the club definitely when they're home. with the coaches in the coaches room. I watch their game from the suite with the front office people, or sometimes with our analysts, which is a lot of fun. But then also when they go on the road, if I don't travel, I see affiliates, and I kind of evaluate our organization, coaches and players. The trade deadline's coming up. Hopefully, be involved in that a little bit. So they've included me in everything. So I don't have anything specific, but I'm just really happy to be here.
Being with the Rays organization, I know one thing that they do is they do value input from everybody. You were across the dugout from the Rays for a long time. Do you feel like their ability to value input would have been something that you could have used when you were the manager of the Orioles or in any other organization that you were in?
Yeah, I mean, every organization is different. I mean, Erik Neander's just an incredible person. He is surrounded by unbelievable people also. So that's the first thing you notice. First thing you notice here is the people that they brought in, the people in the organization, how they communicate, how they go about making decisions. So Erik's so transparent, and he asks a ton of questions, and everybody else is very, very curious on how we get better, and everybody gets along so well. That's the first thing you notice is that everybody enjoys working together, and it really starts with the people, and it starts with Erik, and that's a huge, that's a huge thing for me is the culture that they build, and then Cashton with his coaching staff. It's guys that have been together for a while, and it's guys that get along really well, and it's a great blend between the major league coaching staff, the front office, and then the player development staff's fantastic.
Brandon, do you have a company phone or do you have a personal cell phone that you use?
It's a personal cell phone.
Oh, because I didn't know maybe if the Rays have ever come to you and said, you used to work for the Orioles. Are you giving them information under the table and they're paying you under? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you kind of were in the same division and you tried to beat them there for a while, and now you're trying to learn from it. Everyone wants to be like the Rays. So I didn't know if the Orioles maybe had sent you in as a mole and then you're sending secret information back to them.
Oh, no, I'm pro Rays right now.
You're doing it. You're doing it the Ray way now.
I'm wearing light blue right now. Are you kidding me? I'm not wearing black and orange right now. I'm wearing light blue. Ever since May 18th of last year, or 17th, whatever day that was, I'm pro Ray right now.
Plus, here's the biggest thing that people don't know: you live in the St. Pete Clearwater area, so you're home, dude. This is like you don't have to go on the road. You can just go to the home games. You can post up in the suite life like we showed, and then you get to go home and watch your kids. It's like the perfect thing.
Yeah, I got to watch my kids play a little bit this year. Like you said, I'm not that far from the Trop. The spring training site's just kind of the other direction, not that far away. So it's worked out great. Yeah, Cashy, called me at the end of the year last year, and we talked, and some other people in their front office. John Daniels is over here. He's an incredible person, and learning a lot from him. So I'm just so happy to be here. I think that I'm learning every single day. I hope that I can contribute, and it's been a really fun experience so far.
All right, the field or the front office? You have less than a year under your belt here. Field or front office?
Well, I was a farm director 1 year. Long time ago, for Theo's group in 2000. That was a rebuild too, 2013, 12 or 13. So yeah, I mean the dugout's it's hard to beat the adrenaline in the dugout. And I've been fortunate to be, I've managed for a while. I've been on major league coaching staffs now for quite a while. The adrenaline of the big leagues, the adrenaline of trying to win every single night, the chaos of it, that's hard to replicate. So, whatever the job is in front of me, I'm gonna do the best I can. But ultimately, I've always been an on the field guy.
Hyder, Tito told us that the ninth inning is like an addiction. So you've lived that life. You've lived the ups and downs of the ninth inning. That's kind of what you're hinting at, right? The addiction of, man, how am I going to figure out how to get a pitching staff through when we're a guy or two short, right? Or how am I going to get this guy through 5 innings so we save our bullpen for not today but tomorrow, right? So that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah,
just you play in front of packed houses with a lot on the line on a nightly basis. It's pretty addicting. And, there's even when I was with the Cubs as a first base coach and bench coach there, not a better place to be a lot of times than Wrigley Field on a Friday afternoon against the Cardinals or whoever it is. And then you get into the postseason and you can't even feel your feet because it's just you're nervous and you're anxious, and you're excited. And the same thing as a manager, just with a lot more pressure, a lot more things going on around you, to make decisions in real time with decisions that matter. That's, I really enjoyed that a lot. And I enjoyed the collaboration part with the front office, with the coaching staff, on how we're gonna beat the Yankees tonight with a $70 million payroll. That drove me. And so we did a pretty good job of that after the first few years. For a few years we did a good job of that, 22-24. But those type of moments you never forget, and you always remember the tough ones, honestly. But yeah, that feeling's addictive.
Yeah. By the way, we don't talk about the Cubs on this show. Okay. They're not even a team, except for when they're doing crappy, which they are now. So we'll talk about the Cubs. All right. Well, here's my thing. You're a former manager. Now you're in front office. You were a coach before. If and when, which I think you should get another big league manager's job, what have you learned in this year off that you would take to your next job, especially from the Rays, who everyone says has the best organization in baseball?
Yeah, I've had a year to reflect on kind of the 6+ years of being in Baltimore, a really special time in my life. Got to experience a lot of things. And when you're especially a first-year manager or first-time manager, you're going to go through experiences that nothing's preparing you for that. I mean, I was a bench coach for 4 different managers, but until you're in the seat, nothing is actually preparing you for real-time decisions, especially in the AL East, or dealing with media, or the front office communication. All those type of things are things that you're going through for the first time. And so, for those 6+ years, I'm proud of what we built there. I'm proud of how we handled everything. There was a lot of good times. There was a few really, really tough years. The last year I was there was a really, really tough year also. So I was dealing with a rebuild to then kind of coming out of nowhere and exceeding expectations for a few years to all of a sudden there is expectations, and how you handle that. All those type of things you're going through for the first time. And I want to believe that if there was a second or third time, I would be able to lean back on the experiences that I had. Being with this organization, I'm seeing how they run things a little bit differently, being around different people. I've kind of thrown myself I watch a lot of games, like I said, with an analyst, and to kind of get his thoughts on the decision making. I talk to Cashy quite a bit. I'm in the coach's room every single day and get, just discussing game situations, how to deal with players, how to make players better. And so I think that all my experiences are gonna benefit me if there is a next time around.
All right, you said you said it twice now that you watched the games with the analysts and you kind of smiled both times. How many times have you disagreed? Because I say that because I know the Rays want disagreements because they feel I forget exactly what Neander told me. Like, out of disagreements comes the right answer because there's two sides to the disagreement. When you watch these games, how often do you disagree?
So I'm going to give him a shout out. His name's Kyle Young. And
okay.
He's
so it's not money. It's not money. Money's not with you.
We watch from the coaches' room together at times. So I'll watch with the suite with Eric and Kevin Ibach and those guys up there. But sometimes I'll watch from the coaches' room with Kyle. And it's just interesting to get his perspective on real time decisions. And if there's a decision to be made, he'll ask me a lot of times about bullpen usage, pinch hitting for a guy in the sixth, having to come back around, all those type of things, infield in, infield back, intentional walk, all the, math decisions at times that you make, and to get his perspective from the computer. But also, I'll tell him a lot of times, I'll ask him questions, and I'll say, "Hey, you're too late. You had 5 seconds. You had 3 seconds to figure that out. And you didn't touch it in fast enough." So the speed of the game is obviously different. But yeah, just getting different perspectives, I think, is really, really important. And understand And for me, looking at the game from a little different lens is going to be helpful.
All right, so I got to ask then. Do you get to ask the pitchers, are you okay today? Are you good today? Because then when you're sitting in that room with what's Kyle, you said his name was? Kyle?
Yeah.
When you're sitting there with Kyle, does Kyle know that so-and-so had a stomach bug? Or so-and-so's
Right.
arm's a little sore? Or so-and-so's wife is mad at him? Or so-and-so's child was sick and they were up all night?
Correct.
Right? So does Kyle
Yeah.
have that information? So when he says, hey, you should have brought in X, Y, or Z, you're like, man, you don't know that he threw up all night because his kid was sick with him last night, right? Do
Right.
those
Yeah,
things, are those things discussed?
Oh, yeah. Well, we play around during the game with those type of things,
Yeah.
but absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I was managing, we would have a meeting every single day, me and my pitching coach and bench coach, and pitching about, not just about if the guy's available, but maybe somebody's got something different going on that he is unavailable, or maybe the guy threw 34 pitches last night, but somehow he feels great today. All those type of things are with the medical staff, et cetera, are discussed on a daily basis. And the same thing in Tampa.
All right, so let's talk about this team. Is this team, the way that they're scoring, the Rays team, are the way that they're able to win ball games, is it sustainable? When Chandler Simpson was hitting 400, people thought he was going to win a batting title. Now I think he's hit 260 with no pop for the last month. Like, is this sustainable, or because the game's played in a different way, like not home runs and strikeouts, like we're going to see different types of ups and downs of a season?
Well, I love, when they were playing well early, I mean, the style of play was so fun to watch. You got three guys in the middle of the order that are all-stars. And Chandler, I know Chandler's been struggling lately, but he's going to come around, and he's a game changer because of the speed and the on-base ability, and the way that they can move the baseball, the way that they can run the bases. Obviously, the safety and the bunt game is a big part of their game because they do manufacture. So it's fun to watch. It's like 80. When I called it like a month ago, it's like 80s National League baseball, where they're not just waiting for the 3-run homer, but they are having to generate some offense and trying to pass the baton and trying to get it to the big boys in the middle. So that was fun. I think whether you're a home run hitting team or a team that needs to manufacture, as you guys know, for a 6-month season, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. You're going to go through times where you might have a tough couple weeks, and that's just part of Major League Baseball. Right now they're not at their best, but I think that they're gonna come out of it. It's still a really good club. They can really pitch. They have really good starting pitching, and that's going to keep you in games. And when you have all-star type players in the middle, and you have guys that can generate some offense around you, and they play really good defense on most nights. Defense is important, and be able to catch the ball. I think that they can get back to what they were doing the first couple months.
Is this sustainable, Hyder, though? Because 58 homers isn't a lot, right? And I get that, National League style, but so many teams, low average, high homers play in the postseason, as we know. The Brewers have kind of done this style for the last couple of years. They get to the postseason, they can't really get it to the finish line. Does this style work, and can you win a World Series with it?
Well, I think they're always going to be looking to add, right? So there's going to be, I think with the deadline coming up, it's going to be interesting to see, what Erik and the group do and what we do about it. They put themselves in position to make a run and to add at the deadline. So that's going to be exciting. They have, it's a good farm system. There's good players. So we'll see what happens. I can't tell you for sure if this is going to be the lineup that's going to be in September and into the postseason. I do know that they catch the ball, and I do know that they have really good starting pitching. And the three guys in the middle of the order are super underrated for me. Cammy, Aranda, and Yandy Diaz are three of the most underrated players in the game. They are all-star type hitters. So if you can surround those guys with maybe a little bit more punch, I think that it's a pretty scary offense.
Hyder, would you say that Brian Baker is their closer with 18 saves?
Right now? Bake? Yeah. I had him for 3 or 4 years in Baltimore.
Okay, so you saw him in Baltimore, and you didn't make him the closer, so you must have been a terrible manager. But you also had the Mountain. You had Cano. I want to know, does Kyle, your analytic friend, think Brian Baker is the closer, or he is just a guy that gets 3 outs?
That's a good question, Stratzy. Cashie's used him in the big part of the order in the 8th also quite a few times. So
He has. Yep.
if Vlad's coming up in the 8th, and it's that pocket, I've seen Cashy use Bake in that fashion also. So probably 8th inning, big spot, 9th inning. That's how Bake's being used.
Is that discussed
and I
before?
did have Batista.
But is that discussed before the game? Is that discussed before the game, or does that just happen? Because you said you got 3 seconds, right? 5 seconds.
Yeah. No, I think you're discussing it through. I think you're discussing before the game and during the game. So you're seeing how the game's played out. You're seeing what the score. You're seeing how you are. Whether your starter went 4, whether your starter went 6 2/3. You're seeing what you have available. You're seeing kind of how the game's being played for the last 9 outs of the game. And where am I putting my best guy against the toughest part of their order, or the matchups that are the best? And right now, Baker showed that he's gotten some really, really big outs for this team, not just in that 9th inning, but in the 8th inning also, and he's earned a lot of trust. So those kind of things were talked about all day long.
Brandon, when you were managing, and still to this day, when you talk to Kevin Cash, do you start at the 9th inning and work your way back as far as how you're going to build each game, right? Right? Do you say, okay, if everything goes perfect, we have Bake in the 9th, and then we have whoever in the 8th and whoever in the 7th. Hopefully our starter gives us 6, and then we can figure it out? Or do you start at the starter and you look at it and say, well, if everything goes wrong, I need to have ABC ready? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is the game built? Because everything is, I don't want to say scripted, because it's not scripted, but it's discussed, right? It's planned out you try to cover everything that could happen. So do you start at the 9th inning and go back, or from the 1st inning go forward?
So I'm just talking about myself. The way I did it in Baltimore was I had a meeting 6 o'clock with my game plan guy, pitching coach, bench coach, and we did talk about our bullpen availability that night, and we did bring up different scenarios. And I wanted to get opinions on if I had 2 lefties in the pen, if I have CNL Perez and Keegan Aiken in the pen, or Danny Coulomb, who get both sides out. What pocket do we feel like if it's a Devers, Refsnyder, Abreu pocket, do we like Coulomb or Perez in a big spot, etc.? So I wanted those type of opinions. So we did go over best case scenario. We would go over worst case scenario. With Batista, I had that kind of luxury where I just wanted to get 3 outs, try to get it to him somehow. And in those years of 23, 24, I had Cano and Perez a lot of nights. With Cano was a heavy split, so I wanted him on a right-handed pocket. I wanted CNL on a left-handed pocket. I had Coulomb and Jacob Webb that were kind of got both sides out. So we kind of would map that out. Also, who's my long guy tonight? If things do not go right and this starter goes 3 2/3, who can I cover with some innings? All those type of things are discussed for about 15 minutes. That's how I did it, at least, about 15 minutes prior to the game.
Who are we missing with the Rays? Who are we, as non-Rays fans, just baseball fans, needing to tune into besides the power 3 that you said in the middle of that order?
There's some good baseball players. Taylor Walls might be the best shortstop in the game defensively. To watch him on a nightly basis, I always knew he was a good player from obviously managing against these guys a lot. I watched him make plays against this, but when you watch him play defensively, he plays at a different level, and the numbers back it up. Where he is just a game changer defensively in the middle of the field, surrounded by a bunch of really good players that are kind of coming into their own. Ben Williamson's a really good baseball player. Johnny DeLuca, who's coming back off injury here soon, is a good baseball player, can really handle left-handed pitching. Richie Palacios has done a nice job from the left side against right-handed pitching. I think Cedric's going to have a good second half. So besides the 3 big boys in the middle, there's just some good baseball players that play the game the right way, that play hard, that can all do little things with small ball. So I've just been impressed with how they go about the game and how they play.
All right. Well, that's Brandon Hyde, Ray's Senior Advisor of Baseball Ops. Thank you for joining us. Before I let you go, though, I need to know this. Tell Westy, people who don't know, Westy is the Director of Team Travel there. Thanks for texting me back 3 weeks later. I really appreciate all his help on something. So thanks for getting right back to me. It was amazing how quick his response was.
He's the best in the business. He's unbelievable.
I mean, when he needs Florida Gator tickets or he needs Florida Gator gear, you know what? He calls me. I get it right back. I send it to him. You know what? I ask him, my son's college team's playing at Clearwater. They want to come to BP. I text them. The game's been played. They've already written about it, in the history books. 3 weeks later, oh, sorry, I just saw this. So thank God Elvis got back to me. That's all I can say. Thank God Elvis got back to me and hooked him up.
Elvis is the man, too.
Exactly.
Those guys are studs.
Exactly.
I'll get on him about getting a little bit more, back to you in a quicker fashion.
Yeah, tell him I'm not going to give him a tip, but I'll get Toby Hall to give him a tip next time.
Yeah, exactly. You probably shorted him back 15 years ago. That's why.
I never played for the Rays. I took Westy out and got him drunk more times than he remembers. So he should be one of my pals. Hyder, thank you very much. We wish you best of luck to the Rays and to you finding another managerial job, because I think you're one of the best. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks, man.
And we'll be right back here on Foul Territory.
Cool. It's great to see you guys.
Here are the Knicks throwing out the first pitch. I believe that's Jalen Brunson. I don't know who the other guy is. Maybe Josh Hart. Do we think that's Josh Hart? Yeah, I nailed it. Villanova's finest, throwing out the first pitch to the Yankee Stadium the other night. The Knicks won. They're having their parade. Kratzy, are you attending since you're a big Sixers fan?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go up to the bridges that are going to be closed, probably burning all throughout the city right now. I can't imagine what it's like up there, but I would definitely say New York needs to enjoy this. They need to party like it's 70 something the last time they won.
73.
73, 53 years. Enjoy it. And I love the fact that Philadelphia is really the reason that they won with the 3 Villanova guys. So shocker that Philadelphia has a way for the Knicks to win it, but Knicks fans unite, enjoy it. Maybe they brought a little mojo to the Bronx so that the Bronx can win a championship this year.
Did you see what Aaron Judge said? Aaron Judge said the Knicks winning and the Yankees in October would bring world peace. What about Mets fans? Why has it got to be the Yankees? What about the Mets? If the Mets win, orange and blue, right? The Knicks are orange and blue. The Mets are orange and blue.
Yeah, but I mean that's like drafting a kicker in the second round. It's a little bit of a reach of a comment. But Judgy's an Esquire and Juan Soto's not an Esquire, so he gets to have the quotes.
True. I don't know. I mean, listen, we talked about how good the Yankees was. It was cool though. I'm not a huge NBA guy, but it was pretty awesome. I remember watching Game 5. And I looked at the score, and they were down like 16. I'm like, oh, the Knicks are going to win, and I turned it off because they were down. And every game they were down double digits, and they came back and won. Scott, that's why Scott's off today. He's at the parade, so
he's there.
Yes, he's one of those people that climb the poles. He's hanging on the pole. The people that climb the poles. He's like hanging on a street sign. Ah, Jalen, I love you, with his hair flapping in the wind.
Yep, with his new haircut that he just got.
Exactly, from his barber up there in the Bronx. So, I mean, congratulations, Knicks. It was cool to see. Now we can go on to the World Cup because hockey's done. Basketball's done. It's baseball and soccer. I know he hates soccer. Well, Scott does. I love it.
I love soccer.
Breaking news, J.J. Cooper of Baseball America and the Hot Sheet Show here on Foul Territory Network. Major League Baseball presented a proposal to the MLBPA today that would, if adopted, result in a sweeping change to all aspects of amateur talent acquisition. Among notable points, high school players would no longer be draft eligible. JJ, I absolutely hate this idea. I was a high school draft pick, and they said I think it also includes they have to go to college for 2 years instead of the 3 now. Kratz, I love your thumbs down. Basically, what this is saying is they want college baseball to be the new minor leagues. They're going to take the draft from 20 rounds to 12, less players, less minor league affiliates, which equals, guess what, Kratz? Less money the owners have to spend. It's amazing how it always comes back to the owners spending the least amount of money as possible. And I know you were not drafted in the first 20 rounds. I was a high school guy, so I would have had to go to college. But not being drafted in the 20 rounds, explain what that means, because that is incredible that they keep cutting this thing shorter and shorter.
They do. They keep cutting opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was drafted in the 29th round, they always said, you know what? Everybody after the 5th or 6th round is really just there to play with the guys from the first 5 rounds. Like, I get that part of it. I'm not ignorant to that part of it. But you know what else this does? This eliminates guys from getting into professional baseball till they're at least 20 years old. Now, all of a sudden, all your free agents don't hit free agency in the big leagues till you're 28, 29 years old, which, as we just found out, this last free agent go-round with Juan Soto, he reached free agency at a ripe young age that you will never be able to reach again if you're not able to be drafted out of high school, which keeps salaries down of the major big-time guys, and it also all the money cost savings that you already mentioned, AJ. So it's just really a cost-saving thing that they're looking to do. There's no, in my opinion, there's no developmental benefit. There's no physical benefit. There's no benefit for the game to grow because you're going to start axing even more of the minor league teams, which develops the love for baseball all around America in small town America.
True. You're right. And listen, we just showed the LinkedIn Salt Dogs manager getting ejected. That's why independent teams are popping up left and right, because people want to go to games. People want to watch baseball. Minor league baseball in some of these towns was the lifeblood of some of these towns. I played in the Appalachian League, right? Elizabethton, Tennessee. I never would have lived there. Johnson City, Tennessee, right? If it wasn't for the Appalachian League. The low A, I was in the Midwest League in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I never would have gone to Appleton, Wisconsin, and some places in Iowa that I went to. I mean, Clinton, Iowa, if you've ever been there, it smells like dog food because there's a dog food plant there. It smells like dog food all day long, right? But I never would have gone there. And you go to these games, there's a couple thousand people at all these games. So I don't know. I think this is unbelievable. I think this is just a proposal. JJ Cooper was on it. I just hate that they're limiting the possibility. Don Mattingly was like a 40th round draft pick or whatever he was. There's been a lot of guys that have made it that have been lower picks. You're a perfect example, Kratzy. But this just limits the talent pool and it limits the accessibility to the minor leagues and a minor league baseball for a lot of players that otherwise wouldn't be given a chance. And then if you're going to do this, how do you limit the Latin guys? Because Latin guys sign for less money usually than the American people that are involved in the draft, the world people that are involved in a draft. So now they're going to want to go to a world draft, right? So then you throw the Latin American countries in on this. So those 12 rounds, it is really hard to get drafted at that point.
And it just, the hardest part for me is what I said. The fact that you're eliminating small town America from professional baseball. Now, some people would say minor league baseball is not professional baseball, but that is how you keep a community injected with baseball. When Batavia, New York, while it wasn't the nicest field, or Oneonta, New York, not the nicest fields to play on, those communities surrounded those teams and those players year in and year out. And now those teams are eliminated. Yes, they have the draft league. Yes, that's Major League Baseball's way of sufficing those people who are crying about that. And the more Major League Baseball takes its product out of those areas, the more those areas are just going to start adopting other sports. They're just going to lose their foothold in those areas. I'm not saying you're producing Major League Baseball talent. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we want to grow the game. How do you do it? You do it in little ways like that continue to amplify the game in certain areas and not just in the most highly populated areas.
Well, I mean, right? It has to have they have to go international draft, right? Because that's the next step. This has always been one of those things in CBAs that I've been a part of, and I haven't played again for a long time. But I remember in 2016 there was a CBA. I think after in 2021 was the next one, right? And this was all internet. We have to have an international draft. And Latin players have fought this forever, but now if you cut it down from, you would think if you go international draft, you would go more rounds because now you have to include the international players along with the domestic players here in the North America that have to be in the draft. So I don't understand this. It also, you know what? It also cuts the draft pool from 358 million to 200 million. There's 158 million each team will save. I mean, again, it goes back to saving money. This is why Rob Manfred got rid of minor league teams. This is why Rob Manfred has cut in Major League Baseball has cut the draft down. It used to be unlimited rounds. Now it's 20 rounds. It's all about saving money. I'm sorry.
It is, and I would love to hear the rebuttal on this if we ever get to talk to Rob Manfred and the gang. Like, I want to hear what the reason is. What do they feel the overall benefit is going to be? And if it's anything besides money, then it would open my eyes. I'd be like, oh, okay, I never really thought about that. I never thought about the fact that you're trying to increase development at the college ranks. I've heard people say, oh, yeah, Major League Baseball is going to infuse $2 million into all the Power Four schools, all those conferences. They're going to infuse this money in. Those teams do not. Those coaches are built to win in the moment. Development and winning rarely go hand in hand. Can you develop and win at the same time? Yes. But when your baseball coach at said college in the Power Four conferences is getting paid millions of dollars, he's there to get paid to win, not develop guys. Woo, this guy hasn't won a College World Series yet at this Power Four conference, but he's gotten 50 guys drafted. No school's going to keep paying that money. So that's where I think Major League Baseball is missing the boat.
Well, also, what happens if you don't go to a Power Four school? Then they don't get the money, they don't have the development, so then you just only play at the Power Four schools to have a chance. Like, there's a lot of guys that have come in from outside Power Four, right? So
but that's what they're saying.
I know, so that also doesn't make sense. And then also, this was interesting, I thought, in this proposal. The new draft would be restricted to players who are at least 18 years old, the international draft, as opposed to 16 under the current system. It would consist of 12 hard slot rounds with an initial signing bonus pool totaling $200 million for 360 amateur players residing outside the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. So are they just going to do that doesn't make, that has to be written wrong, or I read it wrong, right? So you get 360 players drafted, including Latin America, United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, okay? But why does the U.S. player have to go to college for 2 years, but a Latin player can just sign at 18? That also doesn't make sense to me, if this is correct what I'm reading.
No. It would be the international draft would be restricted to people at least 18 years old. So they would be talking about a international draft that would be the same as the big the whatever it is, the United States draft, the Puerto Rico draft, which is 12 rounds. So they're saying that they would infuse more money into that, but they would have a hard capped at 12 rounds for the international draft. So again, though, there's another case. They have to be 18 years old. What has costed owners the most money in free agent signings? It's the guys who are younger. Vladdy got more money because he would have been a free agent when he was younger. Yes, he signed an extension early. Juan Soto got more money than anybody else ever because he was one of the youngest free agents ever. Now, if you push it back 2 years, people will say, oh, well, they'll just be more developed. No, they won't. You have to play the professional game a certain amount. I had to play 1,000 games. AJ had to play 500. Juan Soto had to play 190. Different guys have to play a certain amount to be able to be big league ready. And if owners can right out of the gate make those players older, they pay less for them on the back end.
True. And also, here's my other thing. Why can they be drafted at 18, but a U.S. kid who graduates high school has to go 2 years in college to where they're 20 or 21 years old, right? Why would a U.S. kid that's really good, we'll use Bryce Harper, who skipped a senior year of high school, went to JUCO. Well, if I have a son that I think's good enough, I'll move to the Dominican for a year and let him sign at 18 and you get him started on his professional career at 18, as opposed to waiting in America where he has to go for 2 years. What's stopping people? This doesn't make sense. And I know that people will say, well, Latin American people now can sign at 16 and it's corrupt. Well, at high school, I was drafted at 17 and signed. So it wasn't that big of a difference, right? 18 years old is fine, but they also don't start at the Dominican Academy for a year or two, or the Venezuelan Academy for a year or two. They jump into the complex league, whereas most of the Latin guys that sign have to go to the complex league for a year or two before they're brought over to the States. And most of the time it's pretty equal. I mean, I played with guys when I signed at 17 that were 18, 17, and then there were some college guys too that were low rounders that were just there and hoping to live their dream. So I don't know. This whole thing doesn't make sense. It's about saving money. We'll see if they can get it passed. I don't know. This is just a proposal to get people talking.
It is a proposal, and it saddens me to know that it's probably going to go to 16 rounds, because if they offered 12, the Players Association already has it at 20. Okay, well, we'll meet in the middle ground. Okay, we'll get the international draft. Okay, we'll eliminate some of those slots. Like, it's a negotiation, so this is probably extreme, but it's just slightly degradation every single day, like just a little bit off, until the owners can keep saving enough money, and their businesses, which are supposed to be competitive teams fighting against each other to try to win the championship, just turns into a more and more successful money-making business.
Yep, there you go. Well, we'll be right back here on Foul Territory. I'm teasing Ollie Marmol on the backside of this break here for the people watching on television and YouTube. Hopefully his bus doesn't break down on his way to the park in Kansas City, but Ollie Marmol expected to join us after the break. We'll be right back. Bob Nightingale, Erik Kratz. This is your Phillies. Demote rookie starter Andrew Painter to AAA Lehigh Valley. This year he is 1-8 with a 7 ERA this year. And I think we were watching him pitch yesterday, and we both were kind of texting back and forth like, man, he does not look good. He is on the struggle bus right now. Maybe this is a reset. I know he's coming off the arm surgery, missing some time. He's still super young. This is just a reset, right? And hopefully Andrew Painter will be back quickly.
It's a reset to try to figure out how to get some deception back. And one of the things that I said when I saw him 3 years ago, when he was 20 years old and he was dominating in big league camp as a 19, 20-year-old, was the fact that he's super tall and he's super athletic and will help him make changes. Well, right now he needs to make some major changes in the fact that he's being seen really well by hitters. And I'm not saying I've talked to hitters. I watch the games. It is pitches that are on the corner that are getting whacked. He doesn't have enough deception from his large frame. He actually faced Yamamoto and him faced off. And I saw a side-by-side comparison of both of their stride lengths. And Yamamoto, who is 6 foot or just under 6 foot, has the same stride length and release point as Andrew Painter, who is 6'7". So you go to that and you say, okay, now he's going back down to Lehigh Valley. How does he make the change? It's not, hey, you got to throw more strikes. Hey, don't give up so many home runs. What is the actual physical change that's going to bring deception back that it seems like he kind of lost after his Tommy John surgery? Because last year in AAA, a full season, it wasn't going well, but that was a lot of command. So we'll see what he does, what kind of changes he makes in AAA.
This can help, right? I mean, you just get to get away from the Philly pressure. You get to get out of the Philadelphia spotlight for a minute and reset. Again, he's, 23 years old? He's a lot of pressure on this kid. This is a team that's expected to make the playoffs and make a deep run, and you're throwing him out there every fifth day, and, he hasn't had the results. But hopefully for Andrew Painter, he can go down to Lehigh Valley and reset himself, be back there. Because the Phillies are going to need a fifth starter at some point, right? So maybe it's Andrew Painter later on down the road. Does he go full Roy Halladay, though, and start dropping down? Remember, Roy Halladay went from this certain windup to a different windup. I don't know if you can do that quickly, but we'll see what happens for Andrew Painter.
The Phillies need a fifth starter. I don't know. And looking at the roster in Lehigh, I don't know where it's going to come from. So having only 4 starters is an issue.
Whoa. First of all, it said managers meeting. It didn't say professional baker meeting, okay?
No,
It didn't say
future
professional
manager.
baker.
Future
What?
manager meeting.
You can't be a professional.
Where? Move your camera.
Never accepted
I got
a
to
dollar.
see. I want to see who's the future manager. Let me see it. Where?
Yeah. Where's John Jay? John Jay is going to
either.
manage the Miami Hurricanes. But seriously, well, first of all, I texted Ollie late and asked him to join us today. Ollie Marmol, manager of the Cardinals. Daniel Descalso, what's your title?
Still the bench coach.
Oh, Ollie's bitch. Okay, that's fine.
Incredible.
That's incredible.
It just never ends. It never ends, AJ.
You say yes to jump on the show,
Yeah.
and this is what we get.
Right away.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm glad the bus made it safely. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you guys didn't get a flat tire. You know that Missouri, what is it, I-70 rivalry used to be a big deal. It kind of still is, not Cubs Cardinals, but it's close, right? So what's Kansas City like? Is it like 1,000 degrees there today?
No, it's actually all right. It's a little rainy, but weather's okay. Hasn't gotten too crazy hot yet, man.
Okay. How many bagels have you eaten of Descalso's? Would you dare try? I mean, he won't send me any, so I don't know. Because people that don't know, Descalso is what is it called? Dough Scals or something?
Dallas dough. Come on, you know it.
So you make bagels for everybody? How does this work?
AJ, hey, they're really good. So usually day games, he brings it in for the club, and they're legit. And then I take some home as well. But they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can only play so much golf during the season, right? Like there's weather in the Midwest. It rains sometimes, so I needed to pick up another hobby. So I started baking.
Well,
Wow. What kind of do you do spreads or do you just do straight bagels? Or you have flavored
Straight
bagels?
bagels. The guys in the kitchen, they hook up the smoked salmon and put all that stuff out for anyone who wants that. And so bring them in on day games. Guys got some good feedback. We've got a few different flavors, and
Run us through the flavors.
All right, so we got your traditional plain, a little everything. I went chocolate chip last time, and then jalapeno cheddar seems to be a clubhouse favorite. We go jalapenos and cheddar on top and bottom. Leave the seeds in the jalapeno, so it's got a little bit of kick.
yeah. I mean, you guys must have a young team because all the teams that had old guys on it, they're like, ooh, I'm going gluten-free. I can't have any of Daniel's bagels. Do you have any gluten-free ones?
I don't do gluten free. If you want my bagels, you got to be gluten friendly.
Okay.
It's
Well, one
important.
thing
Isn't
you guys-
the water? Wait, hold on, Kratz. I know we're gonna get to baseball. Isn't the water very important though? Right? Because they always say New York water is better for bagels, like Philly water is better for a cheesesteak for some reason.
Yeah, people say that the water in New York helps make the bagels, the best in the country. Now, we were just in New York and I didn't bring any water back with me, but we go play the Yankees next time, so I'm going to bring like a 5-gallon jug, smuggle some water back and see if it makes a difference.
Yes. I think you get in trouble. You can't bring New York water across state lines. I think there's something.
It's got to be against some law.
Ask John
Gotta
Jay
be
about
against
breaking
someone.
laws.
Oh gosh.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
All right,
got?
let's talk.
So, like,
We're going to talk.
we'll
Let's
get
talk
to baseball.
Yeah, we're going to actually talk about baseball. Surprisingly, on this show, the Cardinals are doing really well, by the way. Which say what
They
you
know.
want. I'm surprised. I think Kratz would be moderately surprised. Is it all of Daniel's calls to you behind the scenes, Ollie, or is this your doing?
It's the players doing, man. They're doing a nice job. It's a young group. And what I like about what's going on right now with our club is they're all in the same boat trying to prove that they're big leaguers, and they play every single pitch extremely hard. They're getting after it, and every day is awesome to watch, man. They're competing well, but they're playing the game the right way. They're playing the game hard, and it's been fun to watch. But it's a group that likes to learn, They're hungry for what's next, and our staff loves teaching, so it's a good combo, man.
All right. Well, Ollie's going to give us the same manager answer. So, Daniel, did they not play the game hard last year? You were there. Did they not play? It's a lot of the same guys. But you're telling me this year they're playing the game hard the right way, or have you guys put them in a different spot to be able to play the game hard at a consistent spot in the lineup and a consistent spot on defense this year too?
Well, I think there's a lot of guys that have things to prove. You had some guys that had some opportunities, maybe didn't perform the best with those opportunities. And, going into this year, I think you had some guys with a chip on their shoulder. They were going to get, an opportunity to play, run out there every day and show what they can do. And there was not a lot of expectations from the outside of this clubhouse. And you've seen some early success. And guys, when you're trying to establish yourself as a big leaguer, as a young player, and you have some of that early success in the season, you start to believe and you can kind of, build some momentum. I think we've seen our guys really capitalize on that early success and believe they can go out there and not only compete, but go out there and win.
Wow, you have the manager speak down so nicely. I just want to know, whose decision was it to play Jordan Walker every day and teach him how to hit all of a sudden? I mean, which one of you guys is going to take credit for that? That's really what I want to know.
Zero credit, man. He's that's been a nice surprise. And anyone that said they saw this version of him coming is lying, because it's been special. And the early success, to your point, D, and him doubling down on the work that's taken place. Like, if you look at his spring training, it wasn't an impressive spring training. And the last week or so, they took a little bit of a break, 4 days of no games, and then got back into games, and he had a little bit better at bats. And then the season starts and he goes off, and then he just started doubling down on the work that was going on with Brownie and Casey and BA down in the cage. And that early success just kind of gave him confidence, and he's continued to go. But what I like most about Jordan is when he went through that little slump early. That was a nice test to see, is this something that's sustainable, or was this just a little hot flash? And he has something that he's anchored to, that he can point back to and get back on track. So we've seen it a couple times now where he kind of dips down a little bit, and baseball's baseball, but then he gets right back on track and starts hitting. So I love where he's at physically. I like where he's at from a mind standpoint. It's been really good.
Who benefits more from some of the veterans being gone? I'm not saying anything against the veterans. I'm not saying they were causing anything to be brought down, but who benefits more? You guys as a coaching staff, or the young players who it's like, hey, you know what? This is your team now. I get it. Nolan Arenado's gone. Gray's gone. Those guys are gone. Contreras is gone. Who's benefiting more?
Gosh, I think it's more the opportunity than anything. It's going into a season and the young guys knowing, like, hey, you're going to have some run here. And even if things don't go well early, we're going to continue to give you an opportunity to show that you're capable of staying up here at the big league level. So I think it's more that mentality than anything. Because if you think about our staff, I mean, year one for me as a manager in 22, like, had Albert, had Yachty, Wayno, Goldie, Nato. It was a veteran group. And so I think the players benefit from just knowing that they're going to have a little bit more run based on the type of year and how we're looking at 2026 from an evaluation standpoint.
I think also, as a young player, when you have veterans in the clubhouse, you tend to kind of defer to them and look to them, and speaking in clubhouse meetings and hitters meetings, and kind of answering the questions after the game, and the veterans are the identity of your team. And now you're in spring training and you're a young guy and you look around, you don't really have those same veterans. You're forced to kind of take ownership of what's going on, take ownership of those meetings. And I think we've had some of those young guys really embrace that.
Like, I'll add to that. Like, you sit in our hitters meeting right now, and at the end of every hitters meeting, every guy that's in the lineup will say something based on how they're approaching that day, how they're approaching that starting pitcher. And that's not normal. In the years that I've been up here, to have that many guys speak into a hitters meeting and own it, that's been fun to watch as well.
I love that. I love to hear that. I love it when you hear about guys that are having all-star years that are young and now able to, like, take control of the team and be that next future. But now there's expectations. I think your playoff odds were like 9%, and now they're 50%. Expectations. Have they reached the clubhouse yet? Have you seen guys that are like, hey, you know what? Well, let's not plan anything for October yet. Or how do you speak into that as coaches?
No, I think you got to keep the focus where it's been from the beginning. Like head down, let's continue to get better. And we talk about it internally a lot. Let's be better in May than we were in April, and better in June than May. And if you lose focus of that and start trying to just hold on to what you've done up to this point, I think that's when you start you start to lose it a little bit. I think we just stay focused on getting these guys better and staying just pedal down. And I think our group will respond really well to that. But I don't like thinking in those terms as far as like, man, let's hold on to what we've done and now we have expectations. I think that gets you sideways.
True. All right, what have you guys done to the pitching? Dustin May was incredible his last time out. Your starting and your bullpen guys have been really good this year. What has changed about the pitching? Is there anything changed about a pitching philosophy or anything pitching with the new leadership with Hein Bloom coming in?
I'll say the addition to both sides on the hitting side and the pitching side, we've added a staff member in Casey on the hitting side and added KD Driscoll on the pitching side. And man, manpower is real. Like the more eyeballs on our guys and the more you get to take the information and make it simple and actionable for our guys, it's helpful. But on the pitching side, I feel like Dusty and that group have done a really nice job of getting the most out of what we have. Our rotation, if you look at the beginning of the year where we were slotted to be from a rotation standpoint and where they're at today, man, there's a big gap there. And so I give the players a ton of credit for going out there and executing, but the staff has done a nice job of giving them the resources to have that success. So the pen as well, man, to see O'Brien in that ninth inning role, getting them from Seattle and the growth that we've seen out of this dude from not only physical, but from a mental standpoint of believing in his stuff and going out there and dealing with the pressure of getting the last 3 outs of a game, that's been cool. You got the Granillo trade for Soriano and what we've been able to get out of him. That's been amazing to see. So guys are stepping up, and it's different guys are continuing to do that, but that's the fun part about this type of season.
Daniel, you can have a different answer than Ollie, but who has blown away? I just want to make sure you know that because he's not going to fire you, okay? He can't. He's only firing you if he's about to get fired. But who has blown you guys away as coaches that you guys were like, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I didn't know this guy was going to be that way.
I'm going to go ahead and say, JJ Weatherhold has been like a steady presence in that lineup every day. Like when you are a top prospect, obviously there's high expectations, but until you get to the big leagues and experience it and play every day, like you don't know what you're going to get out of these guys. And so it's nice to be around him in spring training. And as we're talking lineup construction, he really kind of was the best fit for the top of the order for us. And then again, you don't know how a rookie's going to handle that job of being penciled into the leadoff spot right out of the gate. But, this guy just, you can't tell if he's 0 for 4 or 4 for his last 4. He's played great defense. That was kind of maybe a little question mark for us. We weren't sure how he's going to handle second base, and he's been outstanding. So just to watch him as a rookie, just kind of show up every day and just know that he belongs and set the tone for us at the top has been impressive.
Yeah.
He was my rookie of the year pick, by the way. Just saying, he was my rookie of the year pick. He's doing it. He's doing it. Just stay away from scouts.
All about AJ.
Hey, not only can you talk, you're a good scout too.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's why I'm on television, because I can scout and I can talk. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. You guys have both been in the Cardinals organization for a long time. What's the Cardinals way?
I think that people overblow the Cardinal way, right? But from the get-go, when you get into our organization, it was always about the little things, right? The things that maybe don't show up in the box score, the attention to detail, the importance of a routine, and the importance of showing up with a mindset to go kick someone's ass every night. And we're going to do all the little things that it takes to do that. And just hammering that over and over from the time you get into the organization, get into the big leagues, the expectation is to do the same thing, go out and win. I don't think it's any more complicated than that.
That's fair. Joshua Baez hit 4 homers. Should we expect him next week in Cardinals or what?
I think if you hit 4 homers, isn't that like an automatic promotion to the big leagues? I heard that's a rule.
Yes.
Yes, he's got 23 homers already. What do you guys need?
I mean, you hit 4 homers, you got to go somewhere else, right?
True.
Yes.
That's true. All right. Before we let you go, we have one fan question. It's from Katie from LA. She wants to know who gets dressed first, who gets dressed first and who chooses the matching outfit first? Does Ollie get dressed and Daniel have to match it, or does Daniel get first and say, Ollie, you have to wear this?
In today's game, we talk about alignment from the top, from the front office, all the way down to the minor leagues, and alignment can also include attire.
It's disgusting. It's
AJ,
disgusting.
you're an idiot.
Choose.
Yeah.
Be your own person. He is an idiot.
I was gonna say how long until we get a question about us matching, because that was just that's how you know we're on the same page.
You walked in and damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least Katie from LA got her answer. Okay, at least she got her answer.
Katie from LA.
But before we let you go, Ollie, you did get kicked out the other night for the first time. Was Descalso pushing you out there? Go get ejected. He was like the little scrappy dude. Go get him, Ollie, so I can manage for 7 innings.
There's been a couple times we've gone out at the same time. I think twice.
Yeah.
We've got ejected on the same exact play, but I've been most improved. I mean, middle of June for my first ejection is legit. So I'm proud.
Wow.
Yes.
You know why you get ejected?
Self-promotion.
No one had that one.
You're definitely from Dr. Pepper High School. You're promoting yourself, Ollie. I get it.
You know why you guys get ejected together? Because you guys wear the same outfits and the same beer and the same gray. So the umpire's like, both of you just go. Just go together.
I don't know which one, but you both got to go.
That's right. I don't know which one of y'all is young.
Is the show over?
Well, thank you guys. We really do appreciate y'all joining us. Tell John to enjoy the players bus at 4:30 whenever he gets there. But that's Ollie Marmol, Daniel Descalso from the St. Louis Cardinals. They're a playoff team, people. If you haven't watched them, tune in. They're doing something in St. Louis. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. Max Scherzer again, Kratzy, 15-day IL with back spasms. He said utmost belief he can still pitch and help the team win. 41 years old, Max, 3,500 career strikeouts. He's still trying to do it. Is this the last we've seen of Max Scherzer, or can he come back and help this team win?
I heard you went on a Blue Jays show earlier today. I went on a Blue Jays show yesterday afternoon, and that's what they asked me. Do they see Max Scherzer on the mound again for the Blue Jays? And I say yes. I don't care how many guys are coming back. I think there is an intangible value that Max Scherzer gives in playoff time, in crunch time, in September, that they're going to give him an option. This team has not stayed healthy enough on the field. Is it going to be Cy Young Max Scherzer? I'll be honest, I have no idea. Last year in the World Series, he absolutely dug deep into the early 2000s to throw some of the fastballs that he was throwing. He looked like Tigers. He looked like Nats Max Scherzer throwing 97, 98 in the playoffs. So what does he have left? I don't know, but I think he pitches again.
Me too. I think he will. I think he'll come back. And listen, if they get into the postseason, and he can give them what he gave them last year in the postseason, which was really good, old school Max Scherzer, they'll take it, right? They'll take it. If you go Gausman, Cease, Savage, and then you need Scherzer to give you some bulk somewhere in another game, I think the Blue Jays would be more than happy with that.
Bieber will be back. Yeah, I mean, they want these – obviously they want these guys back. And I just don't think you can say, no, Max, shut it down. I don't think that's – even him being around the team, I think helps. So, yes, I see him back in a uniform, and yes, I see him back on the mound.
Great. Well, hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later. Yeah, but don't forget, by the way, to tune in Dodgers territory today at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and listen to their conversation with Dodgers rookie Ryan Ward. He's a good pitcher. Hey, there's Katie. Look, there's Katie from LA.
Katie from LA is huge in the chat. Huge.
Oh, huge in the chat. Hey, if you like Foul Territory or any of our shows, please subscribe, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Wherever you get your podcast, we're 298, I believe, 298,000. We need to get to 300K. It's going to be awesome when we get there. Scott might show up that day. So 300K, please subscribe. It's easy. It's free. It'll get your notifications, and we'll be right back with Slap Hands.
When you get dejected and so down on your team, it kind of robs you, I feel like, as a fan, in my experience. Never going to tell anyone how to be a fan. I think we all can fan in our own unique ways. If you want to get frustrated and yell at the TV, go for it. It's just not my style. So that's how I say optimistic. But also just looking at how good this team is comparatively and how far this team has come. There's plenty of moments where you can boil things down to a microcosm and say, this is what good happened. And so I'll focus on that. So like last night, Endy Rodriguez went 3 for 3 with a walk and a home run. His OPS is up over 900. I'm going to focus on that. Yeah, they lost 11-2, and that sucks. And I was frustrated.
I'm going to focus on that.
Yeah, obviously. But that's how I get through it and get myself to that next game and just hope that finally, baseball, the one good thing about it is they play basically every day. So if yesterday's game didn't go how you want it, maybe today's game will give you what you're looking for with a nice win and some optimism, and things turn around really quickly. Runs happen fast. So that's how I stay optimistic, but mostly just delusion.
Well, I think
Mark, you need to suit up, Mark. You got the mentality of a ball player, man.
Yeah.
You said that one thing that Clint Hurdle used to say. He's like, man, hunt the good stuff. So even through all the chaos or whatever happened yesterday, you're finding good things. Honestly, players do appreciate that from a player standpoint, but also just from being out there because you appreciate those loyal fans even in times of darkness or rough patches. So trust me, that energy does not go unfelt. Guys, when you show up and you got a couple hundred fans, or whether it's a few, however thousand, however many, guys do appreciate that. But that optimism, that's part of being a ball player, because this game will knock you down a lot more than most other jobs. So it's kind of funny hearing you say that, because you're like, man, I'll find something good. And it's
that's what you gotta
do. That's good.
All right, Daniel Kramer tweeted this, I guess it's X this now, Kratzy. Julio Rodriguez and Luke Raley are not in the lineup for today's matinee versus Baltimore, but Josh Naylor has returned and is playing first base. Also, Cal Raleigh is DH and Mitch Garver is catching. Man, the Mariners are beat up badly, and they called up a guy for one day from A-ball who's hitting under 200, which is one of the stories we did not get to. But hey, he got a day, I think, in the big leagues, but did not get to play, so he's like one of those ghost player guys.
Yeah, never played. He doesn't go on the list. Maybe he gets recalled back up. Who knows?
Yeah, but this is bad. The Mariners are trying to get back. They're trying to get back into healthy. They're still in first place, so we'll see what they can do. But with that pitching, as long as they're not piggybacking, they'll be fine. Kratz, what you got on your head? It looks like USA to me.
Finally, I've had one more WBC hat. I think this is the last one. I had saved the best for last. America.
All right. Well, USA is a huge soccer game. We'll do BetMGM here in a minute. Kratz, by the way, also Quinn Priester needs thoracic outlet surgery, which is, I always thought it was like where a blood vessel got pinched underneath your arm, because I know a lot of pitchers usually have this, but it's actually where a bundle of nerves running through your neck gets kind of, and you can't feel your fingers. Dr. Gregory Pearl in Dallas is going to do the surgery on Quinn Priester. Get better. This is what Zach Wheeler had last year, right?
Yeah, Zach Wheeler's was symptomatic through blood clots, which is like, that's scary canary. A lot of guys have pain that gets anywhere from the collarbone up in through their neck and down through their shoulder. So it's painful, but it seems like it's becoming more common. This is no nano surgery. There's no nano needle surgery.
Do you think this is from people lifting more, maybe? Because it has become more common. Lifting, getting tighter up in here, more arm exercises, more band. I don't know. I don't know. Why have we seen this?
I have no idea. I think it's just a diagnosis that maybe would have been diagnosed as something else before, and this alleviates some of that stress. It's actually two ribs that are pinching on each other, and that nerve is getting irritated. For Wheeler, like I said before, it was an area where they found the clot, and then they found out that there wasn't enough circulation through there. So just alleviating that, who knows? Because you hear shoulders, and you say it all the time. I say it all the time. You hear shoulder, and you're like, don't want to hear that. If this alleviates that and maybe creates a little bit more flexibility, who knows what it does? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but hopefully this elongates and gives some longevity to some pitchers.
Yeah, so adios, Marquis. Stay on for BetMGM here after the term on YouTube. Well, yesterday's locks were good for Scott. That's why he's not here. Shane O'Mac, he's celebrating the Knicks and his win yesterday. He only had under 4.5 hits. You know why? Because he only pitched 4 innings. What the heck is going on? I think he went 4 2/3, Kratz. So that's why my lock didn't hit. Yours didn't hit either. Pap's on the losing train too. So let's take a look at money bags. Kratz, you're still up 391. Scott's up 1776. No, 776. That's why you wore the USA hat, Kratz. I'm down 634. Pap's down 315. We're going to get there, people. Stick with us. Two out of the 3 main people are in the positives. I'll get there. Don't worry. It's early. So, Kratz, what you got today?
I'm just going straight run line. The team that we were talking about with a few injuries, I'm taking the Mariners run line. They've been hot at home. They had a 7-game winning streak at home. Yes, Julio's out, but now they have Cal in the lineup. Mitch Garver's in the lineup, so they add a little bit of thump. Josh Naylor's back, so I'm going run line, and it's paying plus, I think, 145.
All right, so originally I had the Giants and the Braves game on my lock, but it already got rained out because the weather in Atlanta is not very good. So no parlay today. I just got straight one game. You Mets, Phillies, over 9.5. I just think with the pitching matchup, I think there's going to be some runs scored. And this is Nola and Manaea pitching in this game. I think the Phillies are pissed. They lost to the Marlins yesterday. They're going to come out swinging against Sean Manaea, who hadn't started in a long time. So that's it. Minus 105. I'm just one game today. No parlay today.
Boring for you.
I know, but at least I'll know with one game whether I win or lose. That's one of the good things. And also, let's talk about this. BetMGM Soccer. Here's what I got. I got USA money line, of course, because I'm from the USA, and I have over 8.5 total corners. That's between both teams. And that gets me, they play the Fighting Socceroos of Aussie made. Let's put another shrimp on the bobby. Plus 170, Kratz. I'm taking that big, by the way.
I love your graphic. That graphic is so hot. If you're listening, you need to check it out.
I mean, Christian Pulisic there, just covering his USA hand over his heart. Best part about the World Cup. Yes.
Christian
The
Pulisic.
best. Pulisic. The best part of the World Cup, the anthems, by the way. If you haven't seen him sing the anthems, it's the best part of the World Cup. So, BetMGM 500,000 goal rush. Every U.S. men's national soccer game. When the U.S. scores, you can score too. Win a share of 500,000 in bonus bets for every U.S. goal. Place a $5 or more pre-match bet on any World Cup game match in which the U.S. is playing and apply your goal rush token. You'll win a share of $500,000 in bonus bets for every goal scored by the U.S. in that match. You're going to score a lot against Australia, hopefully. The bonus bets will be split among all eligible winners after the match. Go USA.